Hello viewers, on your request, today I am going to discuss ICSE Specimen Question Paper History and Civics 2023. This History Civics paper has two parts. First question is of 16 marks, all are MCQ of 1 mark. Question 2 is of short questions, 7 questions of 2 marks each, it means 14 marks. So in total, part 1 is of 30 marks, which is compulsory for all the students. In part 2, section A, which belongs to civics, a student has to attempt 2 questions out of 3 questions. It means it is of 20 marks. In section B, which is of history, student has to attempt 3 questions out of 5 questions. It means it is of total 30 marks. So total 30, 20 and 30, it means total 80 marks paper. Let us start with part 1, in which first question is choose the correct option, means MCQ. First is the interval between 2 sessions of the parliament should not be more than. Options are 2 months, 3 months, 4 months and 6 months. The correct option is 6 months. As we know, there are 3 sessions of parliament. First is budget session, another is monsoon session and then winter session. So correct option is 6 months. It means option number D. In second, the maximum composition of Lok Sabha is. Options are 530, 540, 550 and 556. The correct option is 550. It means it is part number C. Third is Lok Sabha member term is 5 years. And then Rajya Sabha member term, options are 1 year, 2 year, 4 year and 6 year. The correct option is part number D, which is 6 years. Fourth is the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the. Options are Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Prime Minister and President. The correct option is A. It means Lok Sabha because they are collectively responsible, not individual responsibility. Fifth is a house has 350 members on a given day, 25 members are present. For which of the following reasons does the speaker adjourn the session for the day? Options are indiscipline in the house, B is lack of quorum, C is business of the day is over and D is there are no questions to admit. The correct option is B. It means lack of quorum because we know quorum is the minimum presence of members in the session to start the meeting. And it is 1/10. So 350 members, it means 350 into 1 by 10. Minimum 35 members are required to start the meeting. In 6, when a case comes from a subordinate court, the High Court deals with it under A option is revisory jurisdiction, B is advisory, C is original and D is appellate. Correct option is appellate jurisdiction. Seventh, which of these was not an aim of the Indian National Congress? A option is to train and organize public opinion in the country. It is there. B is to promote friendly relations between nationalist political workers. It is also there. C is to make the world aware of the true nature of the British. It is not correct because at that time they believed in loyalty to the British Crown. So C option is incorrect, means not an aim of Indian National Congress. So correct option is C. D is to formulate popular demands and present them before the government because they believe in the loyalty to the British Crown. 8th is Dash announced that the successors of Bahadur Shah could not use imperial titles. A option is Lord Canning, B is Lord Wellesley, C is Lord Dalhousie and D is Lord Ripon. Lord Canning is the correct answer. It means option A. Because Lord Dalhousie announced that successors would not be permitted to use the Red Fort as their palace. 9th is which of these is not a repressive policy of Lord Lytton? A is Arms Act, according to which it is a criminal offence for Indians to carry arms without license in 1878. Ilbit Bill, it is the correct option here because it is not a repressive policy of Lord Lytton. So correct option is B. C is Vernacular Press Act, again in 1878, which forbade vernacular papers to publish materials. And D is Grand Delhi Darbar in 1877 to proclaim Queen Victoria as the Empress of India. So correct option is Ilbert Bill, which is B. 10th is Jyotiba Phule to Satya Shodhak Samaj. It means Jyotiba Phule had founded Satya Shodhak Samaj and then Raja Ram Mohan Rai We know that the correct option is B, Brahmo Samaj. Other options are Arya Samaj, Satyachodak Samaj and Pratna Samaj. Correct option is B, which is Brahmo Samaj. In 11, the Khilafat movement was started in India by options are Ali brothers, Mahatma Gandhi, Jinnah and Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Correct option is A, Ali brother, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. In 12th part, the non-cooperation movement was suspended due to the options are Gandhi-Irwin Pact, B is Chauri Chaura incident, C is Cripps mission and D is Rowlatt Act. So correct option is B, means Chauri Chaura incident. On 5th February 1922, when infuriated demonstrators set the nearby police station on fire. In 13th, which of the following clauses was not part of Indian Independence Act of 1947? A is there would be a Governor General for each dominion. True. The country would be divided into two dominions. It is also correct. C, the British Parliament had legislative control over India, which is not correct. It means our correct option is C. And D is there would be a division of army and asset. It is also there. So correct option is C. In 14th, which of the following is a common ideology in fascism in Italy and Nazism in Germany? A is to believe in democracy. B is to encourage political systems. C is to uphold one party and one leader. And D is to support communism. So correct option is to uphold one party and one leader. So correct option is C. In 15th, Hitler attacked Poland because he wanted to. A option is seize the coal mines, D is militarize the Rhine Valley, and C is regain the Danzig port, D is control the trade. So correct option is C because he want to regain the Danzig port and ultimately rule their neighbor to the east. 16th is identify the founders of non-alignment movement. Non-aligned movement is NAM. And options are in A, Nasir, Tito and Nehru, B is Nasir, Nehru and Stalin, C is Churchill, Stalin and Tito, D is Tito, Sukarno and Roosevelt. So correct option is A. It is President Nasir of Egypt, President Joseph Broz Tito of Yugoslavia and Prime Minister Nehru of India. Now coming to question 2 of part 1. First question is Mr. Kaushal is 26 years of age. Which House of Parliament can he be member of and why? Mr. Kaushal can be a member of the Lok Sabha. As we know that a person should be at least 25 years of age to be eligible for Lok Sabha and 30 years for Rajya Sabha. Question 2 is Ms. Anita wants to approach the Lok Adalat regarding a case. Mention any 2 advantages she will have by taking her case to the Lok Adalat. Ms. Anita will have the following advantages by taking her case to Lok Adalat. First is she will eliminate high cost, that is she will get inexpensive justice. And second is she will get quick justice. Third question is mention any 2 ways in which British ill-treated the Indian soldiers. The ways in which the British ill-treated the Indian soldiers were. Indian soldiers were poorly paid, ill-fed and badly housed. Second point is British military authorities forbade the Sepoys from wearing caste or sectarian marks, beards, turbans, and they showed disregard for their sentiments. Fourth is state any 2 objectives of Muslim League. The objectives of Muslim League were laid down as follows. First is to promote among the Muslims of India support for the British government. Second is to protect and advance the political rights and interests of the Muslims, also to represent their needs and aspirations to the government in mild and moderate language. Third is to prevent the rise of feelings of hostility between the Muslims of India and other communities. Fifth question is what are the causes of the Quit India movement? Causes of Quit India movement were, first point is the Cripps mission. This is the heading. Japan's sensational victories in the opening months of 1942 obliged the British government to resolve the political deadlock in India. Accordingly, Sir Stafford Cripps visited India in March 1942. It proposed India would be given a dominion status, but it did not propose any immediate transfer of power. Second point In 1942, the Japanese army attacked Myanmar and marched towards India. The threat of Japanese invasion convinced the Indian leaders that for India's safety, the British should withdraw from India immediately. So Gandhiji asked the British to quit India. Sixth question is write any two objectives of Indian National Army. The main objectives of INA were: first is to organize an armed revolution and to fight the British Army with modern arms. Second is to organize a provisional government of free India in order to mobilize all the forces effectively. Third is the motto of INA was unity, faith and sacrifice. Seventh question is mention any two objectives of United Nations Organization. The main objectives of UNO are: first is to maintain international peace and security. Second is to solve international problems of social, economic, cultural and humanitarian character. Third is to promote respect for human rights and to employ international machinery for the promotion and advancement of all people. For all these two-marker questions, although 2 points are sufficient, but still I would suggest you to write 3 points so that even if examiner feel that two of the given points by you are of similar nature, even then you will get full marks. This is only my suggestion. Now coming to part 2, section A, which is of civics, in which student has to attempt 2 out of 3 questions. So now coming to question number 3, the legislature makes the laws which govern the country. With reference to the union legislature, answer the following questions. First question is, what is the maximum composition of Rajya Sabha? The maximum strength of Rajya Sabha can be 250 members. 238 members are elected by the states in the union and 12 members are nominated by the president. Why is it called a permanent house? This is second part. It is called a permanent house because it cannot be dissolved, as each member is elected for a period of 6 years and 1/3 of the total members of the house retire after every 2 years. Second part is mention any two exclusive powers of Rajya Sabha. Following are the exclusive powers of Rajya Sabha. This question is of 3 marks, so at least 3 points are must. The Rajya Sabha may, by resolution adopted by 2/3 majority, empower the Parliament should make laws with respect to a matter in the state list. Second, it may declare that the creation of new All India services be made in the national interest. Thereupon, Parliament may create new services. Third is, if the Lok Sabha is dissolved before or after the declaration of a national emergency, the Rajya Sabha becomes the sole de facto and de jure parliament, that is, it takes over the functions of the parliament. Third is mention any 4 legislative powers of the parliament. The Parliament of India comprises of the President, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The 2 houses of the Parliament enjoy equal powers in almost all spheres. The legislative powers of the Parliament are: first is, because this is a 4-marker question, so headings are must in these questions. While writing these answers, 4 points with headings should be there. So first is matters in the union list. This is the heading, and then it has exclusive powers to make laws on all the 97 subjects mentioned in the union list, including important subjects like defense, communications, foreign policy, etc. Second is matters in the concurrent list. Along with the state legislative assemblies, it can make laws on the 47 subjects listed in the concurrent list. Third is residuary powers. It can make laws with respect to all those matters which are not mentioned in any of the 3 lists: the union list, the state list and the concurrent list. Fourth is matters in the state list. It can legislate even on subjects included in the state list. First is during the proclamation of an emergency. Second is when the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by a 2/3 majority that is subject in a state list has assumed national importance. And third is when 2 or more states are of the opinion that Parliament should legislate on a subject given in the state list. The Parliament may make an act on that subject, but that would be applicable only to the consenting states. Now, fifth is ordinances. The President is empowered to promulgate an ordinance at a time when the Parliament is not in session. Ordinances cease to operate after 6 weeks from the reassembly of the Parliament unless they are approved by the Houses. These are optional points. Sixth is powers during emergency. During the state of emergency, the Parliament becomes the legislature in the state concerned and assumes all powers, including the financial powers of passing the state budget. I have covered here 6 points. Out of these, you need to write only 4 points along with the proper heading. Coming to question number 4 of section A, the President of India is the nominal head of the Union administration. With reference to the President, answer the following questions. Question 1 is, what is the term of the President? And part 2 in this question is, give 2 reasons for indirect election of the President. It is of 3 marks. So for 1 mark, we need to write the what is the term of the President. The President shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he or she enters upon his or her office. This is of 1 mark. Then give 2 reasons for indirect election. If the President was to be elected directly by the people, he or she would become rival center of power to the Council of Ministers. Second, he or she is elected by an electoral college. Hence, it would make the President the elected representative of the whole nation with the clear voice given to the states as well. C is the President is elected indirectly as spending huge amount of money, time and other resources for direct election of the nominal executive was not considered necessary by our constitution makers. Now, second is name the 3 kinds of emergencies which the President can declare. An emergency is a sudden or unforeseen situation demanding immediate action. It is a situation in which the head of the state assumes extraordinary powers. This is the introduction given to the question. Then, the President can proclaim a state of emergency in the following cases. First is national or general emergency. If there is a danger of foreign aggression or danger to the peace or security of the country because of a civil war, insurgency or any other such cause, the President cannot issue such a proclamation unless he or she has the approval in writing of the Union Cabinet. Second type is breakdown of constitutional machinery. The constitutional machinery in a state has broken down or there is a deadlock because of political uncertainties or otherwise. The duration of such an emergency is 2 months. It should be ratified by the Parliament if it were to continue beyond 2 months. President's rule can normally continue only for a year. These are 2 types of emergency, and third is financial emergency. If the President is satisfied that a situation has arisen whereby the financial stability or credit of the nation is threatened, he can declare a financial emergency. Such a proclamation has to be laid before both houses of the Parliament and is valid normally for 2 months. Now, third part of this question is state any 4 legislative powers of the President. Again, this is a 4-marker question, so you need to write headings in this answer. Following are the legislative powers of the President. First is addresses session of the Parliament. This is the heading. The President addresses both houses of the Parliament assembled together for the first session after each general election to the Lok Sabha and at the commencement of the first session of each year. He lays emphasis on the internal and external policies of the government. Second point is it dissolves the Lok Sabha. He can dissolve the Lok Sabha and order fresh elections. Third is nomination of members. The President nominates 12 members to the Rajya Sabha from among persons having special knowledge or practical experience in literature, science, art and social service, etc. Third is promulgate ordinances. The President can promulgate an ordinance which has the same status as an Act of Parliament. An ordinance can be promulgated when both houses of Parliament are not in session. Last point is formation of new states. A bill for the formation of new states or alteration of areas of the existing states cannot be introduced except on the President's recommendation. Out of these, you can write only 4 points. Now, question number 5 of section A. An independent judiciary is a feature of federal government. With reference to the Supreme Court, answer the following questions. First is, who appoints the judges of the Supreme Court? And its next part is, what is the composition of the Supreme Court? So, every judge of the Supreme Court is appointed by the President of India in consultation with the judges of Supreme Court and of High Courts, besides the Council of Ministers. In case of appointment of a judge other than the Chief Justice of India shall be consulted. Now, composition. The Supreme Court of India consists of a Chief Justice of India and not more than 33 other judges until Parliament by law prescribes a large number of judges. Second part is, mention the 3 kinds of cases which come under appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Introduction. Appellate jurisdiction means the power to grant special leave to appeal against the judgment delivered by any court in the country. Appellate jurisdiction extends to, first is constitutional cases. All matters irrespective of the nature, where a certificate is issued by a high court that it involves an important point of law and needs interpretation of the Constitution, can be brought before the Supreme Court. Second is civil cases. Appeals in civil matters lie to the Supreme Court if the High Court certifies that the case involves a substantial question of law of general importance and that the question needs to be decided by the Supreme Court. Third type are criminal cases. 2 types of appeals in criminal cases lie in the Supreme Court. First is cases without the certificate of the High Court and then cases with the certificate of the High Court. The certificate of High Court is not required in a case where the High Court has reversed the judgment of acquittal given by the lower court and punished the accused by a death sentence. A case which is withdrawn by the High Court from a subordinate court and sentenced the accused to death. In these 2 cases, certificate of High Court is not required in a court. Third part is explain the terms revisory jurisdiction. The Supreme Court under Article 137 is empowered to review any judgment or order made by it with a review to remove any mistake or error that might have crept in the judgment or order. This is because the Supreme Court is a court of record and its decisions are of evidentiary value and cannot be questioned in any court. Its B part is advisory jurisdiction. The Supreme Court has advisory jurisdiction. It means to give its opinion on any question of law or fact of public importance, as may be referred to it for consideration by the President. The Supreme Court may be required to express its opinion in 2 cases of matter. Any question of law may be referred to the Supreme Court if the President considers that the question is of public importance. Such opinion is advisory and not binding on the government. Second, disputes arising out of pre-constitution treaties and agreements which are excluded from original jurisdiction by Article 131. With this, we come to the end of section A. I have made this video on special request of some of my viewers. Now please watch and share with your friends. If you want me to make video on section B also, then fill my comment section with your motivational remarks. Thank you.